Westinghouse 60677. This fan had bad wiring, didn't run, the brass was very corroded, and this is the restoration project. See if we can get it run again. Brass tags, mark it as 60677. Sorry, that's upside down. It's 60 cycles, 100 to 110 volts, so even though it is an alternating current motor, we're going to run it on direct current, and it should run fine because there's no switch in it. The switch is missing, so it'll just be directly plugged in. So here I am taking the cage off. That would be the first step. Making sure you lubricate all these nice rusty spots so that the screws don't get stripped or warped or bent in any way when you're taking them out. So removing the brass blades. This fan does go backwards. Somebody wrote on it at one point. I don't know if they were dyslexic or what, but there's arrows on every little blade. And yes, it does run counterclockwise to push air forward, so it's kind of interesting. Taking off the metal struts. And what we have left is the motor housing, so we need to get up in there if we're going to rewire it. Here are the brass spring-loaded felt foil wells. Here's the inside of the motor housing. The front part had some bugs living in it and a lot of dust and dirt. On this fan, I don't show it in this video, but I did reseal the windings with an epoxy resin for sealing electrical wiring. So there's the centrifugal switch that starts the fan. There's the back of it in the middle of the motor housing. That's what those little brass clamps actually clamp onto, and then once the motor gets going, they release because they're spring loaded, and it shuts off the starter winding, which allows the fan to consume less energy and run at a lower rate but still produce good air. So there's the old wiring. Remove the motor housing from the base so that we can get to it. This is how you would tap it out, the actual motor windings, using like a stick, or I use a hammer. I taped down the centrifugal switch housing to the side of the inside of the windings, and then you just kind of tap it out of the motor housing with a stick or a hammer, slowly around and around until it comes out. It should slide right out. On this model, there's no need to remove the metal screws, the rods that hold it in place. They don't connect to anything once you take it out, once you take off the brass caps from the outside of the motor housing. And I realized that it was pretty badly shorted out, the centrifugal switch on the inside. The wiring was touching the frame and everything, so I just went ahead and removed it. That way I could really get it nice and clean, and that way you'll have a great connection. So the two wires on the side are the centrifugal switch wires. I'm putting heat shrink tubing over them, and also would be painting them with some liquid tape around the inside edges. So then we can just solder it back on and seal that all up, and it should be great to go. And then you're just going to do the reverse to put it back in. You're just going to tap it back into that motor housing right there and get it all lined up just right. You want to make sure the struts, the screws that go through it are in the exact same position they were before. Here's an original Cord 4 fan that was a little eaten up, frayed anyway, but it still had great seals on the inside, so I put vintage motorcycle wire cover over it for spark plugs. And it's like a sheath that goes over wiring. That way it looks great again, it looks really pretty. So there it is, all wired into it, and we just have to put that winding back into the motor housing. Everything's pretty much done on the fan at this point. I just have to finish up the brass and polish it up, and it gets hot, so I ran my fan to keep me cool while polishing. And then it's just a matter of putting it all back together in reverse.
Running beautifully. Nice even blades. It's quiet. We do have two other fans running in here too though, so that could be why. One over there and one over there. Because it's 104 degrees today. So, working on the cage. Let's get that on there. It'll be all done.
This is the original Westinghouse electric manufacturing company, alternating current motor, 100 to 110 volts, 60 cycles, style number 60677, patented December 3rd, 1889, December 26th, 1893. Back to the motor housing. It's all original, has the brass bolt covers, original tank engine. There's the stenciled out Westinghouse emblem. Let's see here. The only thing wrong with this fan was, well, it didn't work at all and it had no wire, but it is missing the switch. So as you can see, I just have the wire coming through the switch hole. It's direct current now, even though it's alternating current. It works great though. It is a centrifugal switch fan, so the centrifugal switch works great. All original paint and brass parts. So the cord, I put vintage motorcycle spark plug wiring over the cord because it was slightly frayed in spots, but it is original cord for a fan. And it has a little rubber plug. I think it might be Bakelite. Yeah, I think it's Bakelite. And so yeah, let's plug it in and listen to this baby speed up. You'll hear that centrifugal switch starting, and then it takes off slow, but it's a great little fan. Here we go. See, it's nice and even. Blades are nice and even on this one. Pushes a good amount of air. The Westinghouses were backwards, so the blades are facing a different way, and the motor actually spins counterclockwise to push air forward. It just had to be a little difficult, I guess. Trying to be original. So there it is. It's got the two brass oil wells, the spring-loaded felt, and it has been oiled with sewing machine oil for a Singer sewing machine. So it's ready to run for another 100 years. Thanks for watching. Let's shut it off. Listen to that switch shut down. There it is. Alright. Thanks for watching.